Hello, beautiful creative soul, and welcome back to another episode of Chakra Care for the Creative Soul. Today's topic is Give Resolutions a Rest, co-creating the new year with your chakras. Hello, my name is Pollyanna Blanco, and I'll be your host today. I am a creative midwife, a sacred self-care Chakradance coach, a transformational teacher, and an author. And it is my honor and pleasure to help busy light workers like yourself care as much for yourself as you care for the world while you're birthing your dreams into a beautiful reality. Because we all have something great inside of ourselves to share with the world. And it can be so easy along the way to, focus so much on, what we're being called to co-create that especially in the initial stages of doing that, it's so easy. I'm going to take my glasses off because of the reflection. It can be so easy to lose sight of, ourselves in the mix. And at the same time, it's because a lot of us want to, you know, have a sense of it being larger than ourself, meaning our ego self. And so there's this balancing, this harmonizing, this aligning that goes on. And today, if any of you are watching live right now, I really hope there might be a few people. And if not, I know some of you will catch it on the replay. I am going to offer a question right now for you to sit with as I share a little bit and then offer you a simple guided practice today to help you consider what I might be sharing with you if it resonates for you. And the question is, are you planning on making a New Year's resolution? Have you done that practice in the past? How has it turned out for you? And are you planning on doing that again this year? I guess that's a few questions, right? All rolled into one. So I invite you to just be with that those questions and just notice what that has been is like for you right now. And I'm just going to share a perspective that I feel guided to share with all of you on this topic and unpack it a little bit before we go into our guided practice today. So, as we're on the eve of 2024, which has already started anchoring over the past few weeks, we're set to start off on a whole new trajectory, and it is like nowhere we've ever been before. And the reason I felt really guided to speak to this topic is it's something I've been reflecting on myself. To be transparent, it's something that I've been wondering, with everything that's been expanding in my own conscious awareness at this point in this potentiality, I'm starting to get a different felt sense around resolutions. And it's a curious thing too, because a beloved person in my life has shared with me on multiple occasions a similar sentiment. And at first I wasn't sure about, not having a New Year's resolution. And now I am starting to see the wisdom in that sensibility around it. And again, only take what resonates for you and leave the rest. I'm just offering a perspective. So the perspective that's been coming through, and this is why I chose my words very carefully, give resolutions a rest. And I shared it below in the show description that when we often think of resolutions, and if you look it up in the dictionary, it's about what are we going to, bold capital letters, D-O, do. What are we going to do in the new year? And this spirals into what goals are we going to set for ourselves? What are we going to achieve? And when I feel into that energy, it feels very masculine. And there's nothing wrong with masculine energy. I just want to qualify that. Just track with me here for a bit as this unfolds. It's very much about seeking something outside of ourselves. It's very much about trying to close a gap between where we are now and where we want to be. And it is a linear timeline perspective of how we go about manifesting or achieving. I just want to use the languaging that I feel ties into resolutions, achieving our goals. And then there's all this talk out there, and there has been for quite some time, about why people don't achieve their New Year's resolutions and when Quitter's Day is. And even having this conversation just feels very strange to me now, as I feel into a totally different sensibility around this topic. And at the same time, I also feel I need I want you to feel the vibration of how that lands for you when I talk about achieving goals and Quitter's Day and all this stuff, and why resolutions don't work. And just notice what you're noticing as you hear those words. I can say for myself, it feels discordant right now. It literally feels like it's creating static or noise on my line. Because one of the things, I was curious, I'm a very curious person. One of the things I explored a little bit before this call was, some of the writings out there, the sharings out there about, why New Year's resolutions don't work, and, all the banter and noise around that. And one of the things that caught my attention is because the goal is too big. Well, right there, that speaks to anchoring into limitation. That speaks to staying in our familiar discomfort zone. That speaks to getting in our own way and the self-sabotage cycle that Sri and Kira talk about of fear, doubt, and hesitancy. So there's first problem is you're dreaming too big. The second part is you are lacking the skills and the practices to achieve that. Well, there it's a little bit murkier for me, because I would share that when it comes to moving beyond resolutions and co-creating or co-manifesting anything that involves change from our current now experience into something that feels more expanded, I'd say it's less about skills, but more about awareness raising practices. So that's where it's murky, because I feel the practices piece is still true, rings true for me. It's just how it's presented. And I've felt this way for a very long time. And I feel confident in sharing this because I have achieved a lot of goals I've set for myself in this lifetime, even at times when it looked like there was no way and no how. And yet I never did it through the traditional goal setting method. And yes, I did set New Year's resolutions. I won't pretend I didn't. At the same time, goal setting has always felt a little limiting for me. And it's not that the intention behind goal setting isn't valuable. All I'm sharing is a nuance that there is something perhaps maybe missing within the well-intended practice of goal setting itself. And that is the presence. And this is why I say give your resolutions a rest, because before we can do and we can take that passionate, aligned, soulfully guided action in the world, we can't overstep or misstep or dance around being with ourselves first. And when I say being with ourselves first, and a lot of you already know this, so this is just an affirmation. I just felt very called to speak to this topic on the eve of 2024 officially in the traditional calendar, as something that would be supportive and nourishing in terms of how we care for ourselves. Because when we set those New Year's resolutions, and then something perhaps happens and they don't outpicture, we can sometimes turn this against ourselves. And that way of being with ourselves creates a lot of noise and static on our line. It creates and generates more fear, doubt, and hesitancy. And it also keeps us from being in that harmonic soul song, amplification of the truth of who we really are and trusting that. And so the rest piece is the slowing down. The rest piece is the creating calm. The rest piece is the taking time in whatever way we feel called to, whatever practices nourish our soul presence in this now moment, to go within and to just slow down and be with the moment as it is, without judgment, without criticism, without woulda, coulda, shoulda's, as Sri and Kira always talk about, without any of the noise, just a complete act of self-love, self-acceptance, self-allowing, of seeing, hearing, and really being there for yourself in all ways. And I invite you just to place your hand on your heart and breathe that in and feel into. I can feel a shift in my body as I even speak those words compared to the previous words I was speaking. The energy of the previous words I was speaking, and I don't know if you noticed this in yourself, I felt like an agitation, I felt a pressure, I felt a constriction. When I talk about showing up for myself and calming down and slowing down, getting quiet within, turning down the volume on all that noise, what I notice is an expansion, a relaxation, a calm, and a beautiful surrender. And so the other part of this topic today, the co-creating the new year with your chakras, I've been in love with the chakras since before I even knew they were chakras. As a child, I remember going to my high school guidance counselor and, for advice about what I was going to do after high school. And I was like, what job is there that involves color and light? And I really didn't know how to answer that question. So here I am today. I've been a high school teacher for 26, going on 27 years now. And I've been a visual art teacher for many of those years. And so I have had a chance to work with color. I've also been, as a lot I've shared with you before, fascinated by light since I was a child, since I first used green light to reduce the pain and inflammation in my mouth when I had my wisdom teeth taken out. Don't know where that came from, just trusted myself. And so fast forward to today, as a Chakradance facilitator, one of the beautiful things I love about the chakras is it's such an elegant map, and many cultures around the world have used it. I'm very fascinated with the Mayan culture, and they call them chakras. and there are many more than the 7 in-body chakras, the human body chakras. They're the ascended chakras, as a lot of you already know, or you probably wouldn't be watching. And if not, go check out Sri and Kira's wonderful offerings on the ascended chakras. They're such great teachers. When I talk about the chakras here, I guess, wanting to, this is me, as I guess it's the high school teacher in me, just wanting to help people. I want to help people build that familiarity with their energy body as it interfaces with their human body as they're beginning their inner awakening journey, which is ultimately an ascension journey. So many people are on this journey now, and it's increasing in numbers, and that's a beautiful thing. So the chakras are beautiful energy centers in our body, and they're multifaceted, they're multidimensional. They're access points to our multidimensional awareness. And when I say multidimensional awareness, this speaks to the fact that we're more than just a physical body. We are emotional, mental, and spiritual beings. And our chakras, the 7 in-body chakras and beyond, for there are many of them, interplay with our physical being, emotional being, mental being, and spiritual being. And they also have connections to what we are broadcasting and sending out into the world, as well as what we're receiving from the world. They connect to our DNA strands. Different chakras connect to different DNA strands. They connect to our endocrine system in our physical body, which is our hormonal balancing. They connect to all kinds of things, and more than I can get into here. So when I say that they're truly multifaceted, so I love them as a map to beginning to deepen this awareness of who we are beyond who we thought we were. And so, if we're going to talk about co-creation, not just creation, but co-creation, in the beginning, because I did create an audio, which you can find if you're interested in doing so at my audio shop called "Creating the New Year with Your Chakras." I'm going to be transparent. I created that one back in 2021, and I was hesitant to use the word co-creating because I felt like not everyone would understand that word. And now I am going to be updating that audio. It's still a very helpful audio, and it's a great bridge, and it's free. So if you'd like to explore this more, I encourage you to check it out. What I can share today is that when we're co-creating the new year with our chakras, it's really about honoring that connection with and listening to and being with all those aspects of us without judgment and letting them inform our awareness. And even if what we receive from them may not be something that maybe we thought we wanted to look at or thought we wanted to know, because our old way of coping might have been to suppress it or repress it or push it down. The beautiful thing is that it offers us the gift of awareness. It offers us the gift of greater self-love. It offers us the gift of presence, of connection, of ultimately partnership, harmonious partnership, and sacred union with ourselves. And there are so many ways we can work with our chakras, as you've probably already discovered. There's a vase of balancing with your chakras. There's working with your angels and your chakras, which is one way I really like to work, in addition to the Chakradance, which is a way to move your body to sound healing music in a low lit room where you take an inner journey into each of these energy centers. It's based on Jungian psychology. It's a really fascinating process. It's very gentle and allows images, emotions, sensations. It's a sort of somatic sensing experience to bubble up to the surface in divine timing. So you're never going to receive anything that you're not fully ready for. It's going to be something that your soul knows will support you at this now moment in this now potentiality. The other ways are working with sound, and that's something I'm feeling called to explore even more this year, with the biofield and with tuning the biofield, because that is our soul song. That is our authentic, you know, vibrational frequency and the sound it makes in the universe. You think about the music of the spheres. Well, we're part of that. We're part of that at oneness. We offer our beautiful frequency and sound frequency into the beautiful orchestrated piece that is the sound of the universe, right? So that's something, as this year unfolds, I'm feeling called to explore even more. So that in that way, you don't even need to necessarily move into like you would with talk therapy, past traumas and past stories about past traumas and all this kind of stuff. So this is what I love about working with the chakras, because they're so multifaceted. We have so many ways to move the energy. And as we move the energy, this is how we co-create the new year with our chakras. We can direct that energy with some degree of intention, and we can also co-create the new year with our chakras by just being present to what's there, by surrendering to what's there, by being open and curious and welcoming of whatever is there, whether it's through being open to new practices that will allow us to feel a different felt sense in our bodies, and turn down the noises with tuning the biofield, or whether it's with, moving the energies in Chakradance and sort of being in this like dreamlike state where we're giving our rational mind and our overthinking mind a chance to relax, or whether it's, doing a vase of balancing and experiencing that beautiful sense of all is well here and now. There are so many inroads. And this is a very different approach to co-creating the new year. It's where it starts inside of us. It starts with creating the state of being and nourishing that through sacred self-care practices that help us to sustain not only the frequency, also the awareness to witness what is going on in any given moment when we do get pulled off center, because we will. This is part of the human journey. And I know in my own experience going into the classroom, especially these days post-pandemic, there is so much rich fertilizer for the soul in terms of just being able to, work towards my own divine mastery and to really anchor in my divine mastery presence. Because without it, I am tossed around on that sea of density. I am tossed around. I am pulled into the quicksand, as if you will, into all the, energy swirling around me. And so the more I can open up my awareness, the more I can breathe into this now moment and create some spaciousness in it to just invite in that divine mastery presence, to invite in that ability to be with and show up for myself first, before, and pause before I take a choice, before I take a decision, before I take an action, before I, and so that it's really aligned and it's really honoring and noticing who is taking that choice, who is taking that action. And so it's really about a sacred embodiment first. I came across, and I can't remember, in all honesty, it was just recently, I think I was reading something, and it was a referral to a little anecdote about, I can't remember if it was a monk or a Buddhist monk or something like that, so I'm really paraphrasing big time. But it was a reference to, if you had the choice, and of course, no, I'll just say it. If you had the choice to wish for something material or something that is a quality like peace or love or joy, what would you wish for? And it struck me because I thought right off the bat, even though there are things I would love to co-create into physical manifestation in this lifetime, absolutely, I would most love to co-create the quality first. And when you think about the new year and your intentions for what you want to call into the new year, it starts, in my humble sense of it, with what you most want to be rather than do. Do you want to be peace? Do you want to be love? Do you want to be joy? Do you want to be all three? There's no limit. You can be all of them. You can be gratitude. You can be so much more. There's no cap on it. The key is and start there and notice what brings in the what amplifies, not brings in, because it's already there. I have to course correct myself right now. I'm witnessing myself. What amplifies that feeling of peace, love, and joy? And if it takes you out of it, then are you co-creating it consciously, the new year, or are you going into that sense of separation where I need to do this, I need to do that, I haven't done that, and then all the noise and static comes in. I can feel it as I'm saying it. It feels icky and it feels sticky. So this is the perspective that I wanted to offer everyone today. And I went on a little longer than usual. I tend to use a lot of words, and that's just me. Accept me. I also feel guided to, and I didn't plan to share as long on that as I did. I'm just going to just check the chat right now. I'm not sure if anyone's watching. Let's just see. Okay, there isn't anyone here. Everyone's getting ready to call in 2024 tonight. So I'm going to just go ahead then and take a moment and read a short excerpt from the book that came out. This is going to be in 2024, the 10th anniversary of this book, In Rhythm with Your Soul, Break Through the Barriers to Being Creative, Face Your Daemons and Dance. And your daemons, by the way, are not what they first sound like. Jung referred to the daemon as your soul. Basically, it's that part of you that is trying to be heard through all the noise, and oftentimes, shows up in a way that acts out. Actually, I'm pinging right now because Shri yesterday evening was talking about how the body acts out when it doesn't feel safe. It wants to know if we're showing up for it. Our soul is the exact same way. And I just made that connection right now in real time that it's that nudging from our soul that puts us in situations, it draws us into situations where we feel uncomfortable, where we feel like, I'm not ready yet, and all the noise and the limiting beliefs come in, and yet we're so ready, and our soul wants it for us. And so I wrote this book, and I've talked about it before. I won't go into that here, but it's still available. You can get it through my website, www.pollyannablanco.com. And the reason I wrote it, it was a passion project. It took me 10 years to write. So this is why I'm really celebrating that it's the 10th year that it's been out. And I'd like to get it more out into the world. I've had really good feedback from people who've read it because it took me 10 years to write it because I was doubting myself so much. I was stuck in my own self-sabotage cycle. I didn't even know it at the time. And yet that inner nudging, that trusting that something wanted to emerge through me was this book. So this book is a product of the, as my mom would say, the Virginia Woolf School of Writing, where it was like through struggle, through fighting myself and doubting myself, and yet something beautiful emerged. And at the same time, I wrote it so that you wouldn't have to suffer and struggle, that you could start to see those moments in your life where things maybe go off center, or, AWOL, or, you get thrown a plot twist, that it's all good. And to see it for what it really is. That's been one of my biggest lessons on the path so far, is to not always look at what's in front of me as and take it totally at face value, to look at it symbolically, to look at it as an indicator in accordance with my, connected to that felt sense within myself of, is this, how is this, why is this showing up for me? As Sri and Kira would say, what in me invited this to be? And I reference them a lot because they've been powerful forces in my life for close to 20 years too. And I'm incredibly grateful, deeply grateful to them for all of their guidance and just love and just wisdom. And I don't even really have the words. So this is why I always stumble when I go to thank them, because the words I have for their sharings and their teaching are beyond words. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them sharing this with you now. So thank you, Shri and Kira. So this, it's from chapter 2, and it starts off with a quote that I just love from Martha Graham called "Dancing is just discovery, discovery, discovery." And in chapter 2, I reference a work that had a major influence on me. By the way, one of Shri and Kira's books is in here too that I reference. And I will share that with a later date. It was a book that I read by Barbara Hand-Clow called The Alchemy of 9 Dimensions. So I'm just going to read this as a preface before I go into the section on the divine mind and manifestation. So after relegating dance to the dock for 7 years, I finally set sail again across the dance floor. A source of my inspiration was Barbara Hand-Clow's Alchemy of 9 Dimensions. Derived from ancient Mayan and Cherokee teachings, her book revealed that we are already whole, in sync with other essential aspects of the cosmos. By detailing the ascending levels of consciousness possible through meditation, spiritual exercises, and engagement, her words helped chart my own journey as my awareness grew. I realized that when I was ready to explore my multidimensional being on the dance floor, I would open to a vaster experience of being both human and more than human. More and more people are remembering how interconnected we are to all aspects of life, from the seemingly most animate to the inanimate. We are linked to each other as well as to the earth, rocks, minerals, crystals, plants, trees, animals, stars, plants, and galaxies. We are also multidimensional. Because I've found them invaluable in my returning to dance, I would like to share with you brief descriptions of each of the 9 dimensions Cloud presents in her book. Then I shall explain how I interpreted and applied her wisdom in my case and offer corresponding friendly tips born of my own experience. May they help chart your journey as well. So I'm going to fast forward. This is what I felt called to share today. The 8th dimension, divine mind and manifestation. This is the realm of creating the realities that you want, equivalent to the "in the beginning was the Word" found in the Bible and in comparable beliefs in other religions. The influence of the sun and the moon on the Earth's seasons mirrors our own personal inner seasons of transformation on a cyclical basis, is guided by the divine. Light 8D generates sound 7D that creates visions of latent geometric forms 6D, organizing themselves energetically 5D, and providing the mind is open to the possibility 4D, eventually manifesting themselves 3D, ideally as oneness, trusting faith in a state of grace. Being in this world and yet not of it. As exciting as was my opening to life beyond the veil, there came a point where the leaps and bounds I made so eagerly lost their bounds, and this newfound momentum of self-exploration seemed to wane. My willingness to be open raised new challenges. Sometimes I felt more drained than invigorated because, without realizing it, I had indiscriminately opened myself to energies. At other times, I sensed I was using my newfound spiritual awareness to avoid anything or anyone unpleasant, and I struggled with being inconsistent in my spiritual practices. Underneath all the beauty and enchantment gurgled heavier controlling energies, fearful thoughts, anxiety, doubt, and resistance, which created a conflict between the level my awareness had shifted to and the level of my actual personality. In my Hegelian spiral, I had taken 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. If life was a dance, at times I seemed my own worst dance partner, stepping on my own feet and elbowing myself in the face. Eventually, I realized that this messiness is a germination process. From it stems the beautifully blossomed performance, and everything everything clicks at the perfect time, and we trust that the divine is working through us. Our humanist tends to want to do better to avoid the messiness, while the divine smiles knowingly at how perfectly our imperfect moments are unfolding. And I'm going to read that last line to you because it beautifully sums up the topic for today's show: give resolutions a rest, co-creating the new year with your chakras. Our humanist tends to want to do better to avoid the messiness, while the divine smiles knowingly at how perfectly our imperfect moments are unfolding. I invite you to place your hand on your heart. And just breathe that in. Breathe that in. Really feel that there's nothing that we need to do better, get out there. We just need to embrace this now moment with breath, with presence, with love, with peace, with joy, with trust, with faith, with surrender, with openness. Openness. That's what quiets the noise. That's what allows us to be first and see not just through our physical eyes, but through our star consciousness, through our expanded self, through our ability and capacity to be so much more than anything that we were taught that might have limited us in the past. And so now I'm going to guide everyone through a short, simple little practice. Rather than setting resolutions, I invite you to embrace this simple practice today. So I encourage you to get comfy. We're going to open with 3 Ave Sa breaths. Breathing in and then out with a smile. Breathing in Ave and then Sa with a smile. And as you breathe in Ave, opening to your expanded self. And as you release on the sa, allowing that beautiful smile to form on your face, surrendering your will to the divine will. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Ave. Sa. Ave. Sa. And now I'm going to invite you to gently close your eyes. If your eyes aren't already closed, I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to take this journey with you. And I'm going to invite you to begin to see, sense, or imagine high above your head a beautiful golden liquid light from the gold ray seraphim beginning to pour in to the crown of your head. Breathing that beautiful golden liquid light all the way down behind your eyes, your throat, along your spinal column of light, past your heart into your stomach, all the way down to your sit bone, out along each of your legs, and then out through the soles of your feet, down through the many layers of the earth's mantle and crust, deep into the crystalline core of Mother Earth. Breathing in gratitude, feeling anchored, safe, held, connected to beautiful Mother Earth. Thanking Father Sky for this continuity, this connection all the way from your source self down to your grounded earthly self. And then beginning to breathe that beautiful gratitude back up from the crystalline core of Mother Earth, back up to the soles of your feet, up along each of your legs, almost as if they're drinking straws, drinking that beautiful golden liquid light back up to your sit bone. And then pausing at your sit bone for a moment, your traditional human root chakra. And just breathing into this space, seeing it begin to glow a beautiful, brilliant red, ruby red. Allowing that spiral red beginning to transform into an infinity symbol. As you notice anything that feels noisy in this area, anything that feels discordant, allowing that beautiful infinity symbol to cleanse, to release, to resolve, to refine that energy, to tune it up. And noticing as well here what wants to emerge. This area is often traditionally tied to our sense of belonging in the world. And I'm feeling guided to use the word belonging and invite you to feel into what that looks like and feels like for you in 2024. What does belonging feel like? Breathing peace into this energy center and breathing out anything that is not peace. And so it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now breathing your awareness up to your belly button chakra, your sacral chakra, and beginning to feel into this beautiful orange tangerine glow, allowing it to become a lovely infinity symbol. Noticing what you're noticing in this area. If anything feels noisy, discordant, allow this area to be cleansed, purified, refined, balanced, stabilized. And this traditional center is connected to a sense of our relationship. And I'm feeling guided here to invite you to notice there's another layer to this. They're showing me that it's the relationship and any discordant energies in any relationships right now that you would like to release, balance, stabilize, move beyond. Because what I'm hearing and sensing right now is that you're already beyond it. So it's really about releasing the attachment to the noise, to the friction, to the unforgiveness, to the pain body, is what they're saying. This is like your womb space. So this is the seat, one of the seats of your creation. We need to create some spaciousness in here. So they're inviting us to take a deep breath in and out, cleansing breath. And then they're inviting you, if this is an area you're feeling a lot of energy that is sticky, continuing to breathe today through the center and trust that all is well. Because this is really an invitation from your body right here and right now today to be heard and seen, to move your body, to be in water, to be outside dancing, twinnings. Interesting, I said twinning. I went to say twirling. But yes, it's that sense of union, that sense of love, that sense of, as they're showing me, the twin is your expanded self, in partnership with this human experience that you're having, to really open to that and notice the love that wants to anchor, the love that's already here now. When you peel away all the distractions and you quiet the noise, all that's left is the love, they're saying. And then continuing to breathe your awareness up to your solar plexus chakra just beneath your rib cage. Breathing into that beautiful golden sunny yellow chakra, seeing it begin to become a lovely infinity symbol. And then feeling into this area, if there's anything that you've been holding on to, anything that you've been in a power struggle with, anything that you've been doubting yourself about creating, anything that you have been second guessing yourself about creating, allow that just to soften, relax, and release now. And the word they're showing me right now is trust. There's something in you that's already been emerging. How can you trust what is emerging in you more? How can you affirm that for yourself? How can you show yourself that this new whatever it is that wants to express through you, be birthed through you, maybe it's a way of being in the world, of showing up for yourself and others. Maybe it's a creative project. Maybe it's a new idea. Maybe it's a new partnership. It starts with this energy center feeling acknowledged and heard. And as it does, notice the joy that brings. Notice that it's this deep spiritual fulfillment of knowing that this is you being in the world without the shackles, they're saying, of the weights of all the expectations, demands, and pressures. This is just you, pure you, unadulterated you. And beginning to breathe your awareness up into the center of your chest to your heart chakra, and seeing that beautiful emerald green, might have touches of beautiful rose petal pink in there too, beginning to become a beautiful infinity symbol, both vertically and horizontally. and beginning to notice anything that feels hardened in this area, like any heart walls, any resistance, any detachment that has left a sense of loneliness or a sense of isolation, or not feeling connected to yourself or to others, to be here, and just allowing your loving presence and your breath to soften the densified energies here, because everything, even when it appears solid, is just fluid. Breathing in the creative flow of your awareness. They're even asking me to invite you to see this area as if it's just filaments of light, like waves on an ocean. If you can see beyond the solidity of anything that feels sticky or dense, to just see its energetic, electrical reality beyond its surface appearance as fluid. And yeah, there it is. It's starting to soften now. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, really, really, really nice. Okay, and then just the word that's coming here is compassion. In 2024, what does the word compassion mean to you? Where in your life is compassion needed? This is such an important part. But I'm getting tongue-tied here. This happens when I'm kind of doing inspired speaking. Compassion, where is it needed most in your life right now? Infuse those areas of your life right here and right now with that compassion. Embody that compassion, sense, feel, be that compassion right here and right now. You are laying the foundation to be open to receive instantaneously the abundance, the joy, the peace, the love, all that is yours to claim. And then breathing up to your throat chakra, into that beautiful sky blue light. And seeing it become a beautiful infinity symbol. And releasing anything that has been hidden, unheard, unspoken to yourself, so you can claim it, you can know it, you can reclaim it. They're saying you can be with it with love and without judgment, and honor your authenticity, and be transparent with yourself, and acknowledge that you are perfect just as you are, with all your seeming imperfections, that you are enough, and that it's not about enoughness, it's about, is this good enough for me? It's your truth. Is this good enough for me? Not, am I enough to speak this, to say this? Is this good for me to share, to be, to embody, to embrace? And then breathing your awareness up to that space between your eyebrows, your third eye chakra, that indigo blue energy, like the night sky, swirling and becoming an infinity symbol, both vertically and horizontally. Breathing into that space, releasing anything, any static on the line, any veils that need to be dissolved, any illusions that you felt yourself trapped in up until now. Inviting in clear seeing, honoring your intuitive hits and knowings. And the word for this chakra is know. Know beyond a shadow of a doubt. What do you need to know beyond a shadow of a doubt to co-create 2024 in harmony with your soul and your spirit? Really feel into that. And then finally breathing your awareness up to your crown chakra, feeling, sensing that beautiful violet or white light, golden white light, becoming a beautiful infinity symbol, both vertically and horizontally. Allowing any static on the line, any confusion, any mental overthinking, any just nattering, I'm hearing nattering, any just constant recycling of thoughts, especially thoughts that are bleak or worrisome or negative, or we're not judging any of this. We're just simply noticing that it's obscuring our focus, our ability to notice beyond the noise what is actually really there at the core. And so as you breathe into this crown chakra in your human energy system, the word that's coming forward is divine, divine connection, feeling into that divine connection beyond all the noise. And so this year, how will you be with that divine connection? What will you do to cultivate it? For example, is this practice right here and right now something similar to what you've already been doing and experiencing? Are there other practices, spiritual practices? Maybe it's just being quiet, going for a walk in nature, being in divine connection. What does that look like, feel like for you in 2024? Before we close this guided visualization, I'm feeling very highly guided to invite you to place your hand, if it's comfortable to do so, just beneath your collarbone, just about an inch beneath your collarbone at your higher heart center, and in between your third eye and the top of your hairline, which is your star consciousness center. And I'm seeing these two beautiful pings of beautiful starlight activating, to just gently tap these centers. And I'm gonna invite you to share a couple affirmations with me. I am the love that lights the way. I am the love that lights the way. I am the love that lights the way. And with that, they're saying we're complete. Okay, so I'll save the other affirmation for another day. Breathing this in, bringing your hands back to your heart, and then gently opening your eyes, coming back into the room, back into this space. I want to wish all of you a very, I'm getting tongue-tied again, beautiful, magical, abundant, prosperous, vibrant, illuminated, healthy, healed, whole, miraculous, joyous, peaceful, loving year ahead. And I am so happy and grateful for this blessing, this opportunity to even be here sharing all of this with you, trusting myself. And I sincerely wish with all of my heart and soul that because I never plan what I'm going to say, especially these guided meditations, they just come through me. It's a complete act of surrender and trust on my part, and sincerity, love, and presence to trust that what is coming through me is here to serve you. And I share this because I invite you to trust yourself more. I invite you to surrender and be open to what comes through. It is so easy, and I've been there a million times before, to second guess myself, to say, who am I to? Who are you not to? You are great. Everyone is great. If we can just get past all the noisiness, there's greatness in all of us. There are miracles in us. And what a world we would live in if every single one of us just trusted ourselves more. Listen to your heart, listen to your spirit, listen to your body, listen to your soul, and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are here right now because you are meant to be, because you chose to be, and because you make an enormous difference by being here now. I love all of you, and I love the blessing of being able to share this with you. And I wish you infinite creative blessings and infinite creative joy, peace, and love in 2024. Be well, beautiful creative souls.